Battle through the heavens, Grand World. Chapter 84. Once again entering the tiger's den. Without the protection of the carriages, Suo Quan and the others were able to move faster and faster. Some of the paths that the carriages could not take had been agilely flipped over by them, and their speed was getting faster and faster. As they went deeper into Mount Daqing, more and more powerful spirit beasts appeared. If they were not careful, they would bump into high-tier spirit beasts, causing them to pay 120% of their attention. In this place, a single negligence would lead to true death. While everyone was being careful, they also successfully avoided the few heavenly beasts that they occasionally saw from afar. These fellows all possessed a certain level of intelligence. If they were discovered, it would be a one-sided slaughter without any suspense. Seeing that they had already walked halfway through the journey of Mount Daqing, Zhou Yuan, with his cautious character, could not bear it any longer. During a short break, taking advantage of the distance between Suo Quan and the others, Zhou Yuan and Xiao Yan once again began to discuss in a soft voice. Mr. Xiao, at this rate, we will cross Mount Daqing in 4 days at most. When we reach the next city, our chances of fighting will be even slimmer. We must attack Mount Daqing, only then will we be able to escape without anyone knowing. Xiao Yan looked at it helplessly. Zhou Yuan, who was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan, looked at the continuous green hills around him and said with a bitter smile, if we make a move on Mount Daqing. Unless you have the ability to kill those 3 guards in an instant, if we don't do it, we will definitely attract some spirit beasts when we get entangled. At that time, it will be even more fun. Zhou Yuan was not stupid. A vicious glint flashed across his eyes when he heard this. After which, he shut his eyes tightly and sighed helplessly. At this moment, he even had some doubts. Was this a trap set up by that old bastard Suo Quan? In this way, as long as one had a brain, they wouldn't act rashly. While Xiao Yan and Zhou Yuan were talking softly, Liu Kai, who was alone not far away, raised his head gently and looked at the surrounding forest. A struggle flashed across his eyes. After which, he let out a sigh. His somewhat sinister eyes looked at Suo Quan and the other 3 people not far away. He could not help but put his hands together. There was even a faint white color on his joints. Wu Sen's hands were used as a pillow as he lay on the ground. He did not mind and fell asleep. Less than an hour after everyone had left, a group of 6 people had also hurried over. The leader was surprisingly the West Star City's city lord, Wu Zishan. Wu Zishan's eyes swept across the area and soon found a hidden mark. He chuckled and said, this fellow is still useful. Let's go. Suo Quan and the rest should be heading southeast. Standing up, Wu Zishan looked at the quiet forest with a serious expression. He seemed to be talking to himself. In a place like this, the guys next to him probably won't make a move. As he spoke, Wu Zishan had already rushed towards the southeast direction. Li Hong, Yan Chong, and the other 2 followed closely behind. Mr. Xiao, this is the border of Mount Daqing. Ahead of us is a precipice valley. That is our last chance. Another short break. Before leaving, Zhou Yuan reminded Xiao Yan in a low voice. Both of them were ready to fight to the death. About an hour later, a ravine that looked like a valley appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The ravine was dozens of meters wide, and on the left and right were mountain walls that were nearly 10 meters tall. The ravine could not be seen with a glance, and it showed endless desolation. Hee, I know this place. Originally, this place was a large forest, but 2 heavenly sovereign-level holy beasts fought here and caused this forest to sink into the ground, causing it to look like this. Looking at the desolate canyon, Wu Sen laughed. However, no one was listening to his words at the moment. They might have noticed something. The 3 guards tightly protected him in the middle. Xiao Yan and the other 2 men were also scattered around Suo Quan, whether intentionally or not. Swoosh. Just as Zhou Yuan indicated for Xiao Yan to attack, a silver-haired middle-aged man wearing a purple brocade robe suddenly appeared on both sides of the mountain wall. At the same time, 5 men in black with astonishing auras appeared behind him. You are West Star City's city lord, Wu Zishan. Zhou Yuan raised his head and saw the few people who suddenly appeared. When he saw the silver-haired middle-aged man in the lead, he could not help but exclaim. West Star City's city lord. Suo Quan, who was tightly protected by the guards, was also shocked. Then, a voice full of anger came from under the black robe. West Star City's city lord, what is the meaning of this? Behind him, Wu Sen ran forward. When he saw Wu Zishan, he immediately said in surprise, "Uncle, what are you doing?" "Uncle." Xiao Yan and the others were also shocked. What was going on? Wu's senator. Wu Zishan was somewhat surprised as he looked at Wu Sen below. A trace of shock flashed across his eyes. After which, he smiled faintly and said, "You should know the reason why I have come." Suo Quan, who was under the black robe, mused for a moment in a low voice. He said in a cold voice, "Don't tell me that you are not afraid of the revenge of the princess of Deyong County. As the city master of West Star City, you have a public position. I don't think you can run away so easily." Wu Zishan laughed out loud when he heard that and said, "Old Ghost Suo. Since I dare to show you my true colors today, I'm not afraid that any of you will be able to escape." "Is that so?" The guard named Wang Hu let out a cold laugh. With a slight movement of his body, he had already locked onto Wu Sen's throat as he coldly said, "It seems like the two of you are very familiar with each other. If you don't want him to die, get lost immediately." Wu Sen only felt a cold sensation at his throat. He lowered his head and saw that an extremely sharp black dagger was already tightly pressed against his throat, emitting a wave of cold air. "Humph, Orson, I'll give you a chance. If you knock this guy down, I'll let you go. When the time comes, I won't treat you unfairly. With your skills, there won't be any problem." Wu Zishan narrowed his eyes and looked at his nephew who had amazing talent. Although he felt a trace of reluctance in his heart, it was immediately buried by his burning desire. "Uncle, what are you doing?" Wu Sen was being controlled by Wang Hu, but he also understood the source of all this, so he immediately flew into a rage. Boom! Orson, who was in a rage, was suddenly hit from the back. He was caught off guard and had no time to dodge. Even though his body was very strong, he groaned and fell down powerlessly. "Who is it?" Everyone was shocked and looked back. They saw Liu Kai, who had an indifferent expression on his face, standing behind the collapsed Usen. The Origin Monarch. Ki on his extended right hand slowly scattered. His usually calm face had now become somewhat ferocious. Liu Kai glanced at Xiao Yan and Wu Sen, and the corner of his mouth revealed a cold smile. His body moved and he had already left the crowd. After which, he lifted his head to look at Wu Zishan and respectfully said, "This subordinate Liu Kai greets sir." Wu Zishan was high up in the sky. He looked down at everything that was happening below him and nodded with an indifferent expression. Although Wu Sen had an unusual talent, it was too realistic. It was also good to knock him out. Suo Quan's voice was extremely cold under the black robe. Just as he was about to speak, Wu Zishan spoke from above. "It seems like you still haven't figured out your current situation." After saying that, an aura that far exceeded the monarch's spirit spread out from his body. Behind him, Li Hong, whom Xiao Yan and the others were familiar with, was also among them. In an instant, 6 frightening auras spread out from afar, forming a powerful pressure that rushed towards everyone. Emperor. Xiao Yan was startled when he sensed Wu Zishan's strength. They were both city lords, but Wu Zishan's strength was many times stronger than Lian Yunhai. Xiao Yan looked at Wu Zishan and the others, and his mind began to race. He was afraid that even Zhou Yuan wouldn't have expected this. Dangerous situation. Damn it. Due to his extreme anger, both of Zhou Yuan's eyes turned slightly red. At the same time, a sense of helplessness emerged in his heart. Given his strength, he had no chance of winning against an emperor. "Alright, I can give you all the monarch crystals and spirit weapons. But you must let us go. I guarantee that I won't tell the princess of Deyong County." Suo Quan thought for a moment and said bitterly. Zhou Yuan's eyes jumped when he heard Suo Quan's words. He looked at the former without a trace. The despair in his heart became active again. When Wu Zishan heard this, his expression didn't change, but he still sneered. "Wu Zishan, our lord has already promised to hand over the things, and we promise that we will not tell the princess of the county of Deyong. These two fellows are up to you to deal with. As long as you let us leave, what do you think?" Wang Hu, who was standing at the side, said unwillingly. Wu Zishan glanced at Wang Hu and then at Suo Quan, who was standing in the middle. He smiled playfully and said something that made Suo Quan and the others feel as if they had fallen into an icy abyss. "Monarch crystal, spirit weapon. Are you kidding me? Those things, although they are precious, do you think I am lacking those things? Don't play dumb with me." Hand over the monarch arts obediently and I'll leave you with a complete corpse. Chapter end. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.